How's it going, everybody? We've got a new poll from the Old School RuneScape team, so let's go ahead and vote in this poll. So, this is Deadman and Ditch. Unfortunately, this poll hasn't really been up for many days, so you've got a short amount of time to cast your vote, which is a bit of a shame really, because you'd think that with a community game, you'd want the polls to last the same amount of time every time, so everybody gets a fair chance to vote. But anyway, let's start off with question 1. In Deadman mode, should the experience lost by unschooled players who are PK'd be reduced from 50% to 25%? Schooled players who die would still lose the full 50%. Effectively meaning if you're not looking to risk your stuff, then you're going to lose a lot less. But you'll still lose a lot. Part of me thinks that's really nice, however another part of me is thinking that's not what they want Deadman mode to be. However, after saying that, I kind of feel that they wouldn't be polling this if they didn't think it would be worth it, and because it's such a big change, they have to make sure they have a decent amount of people supporting it. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes on that. Next, question 2. In Deadman mode, should they add hit points insurance? After achieving level 25, 50 or 75 hit points, you'll be able to pay a one-off fee of 25k, 100k or 1 mil, respectively, to prevent your hit points falling below that level again. So again, one side of me wants to say no and one side of me wants to say yes. Obviously it's a very useful thing. If you've been spending time getting your hit points up, then obviously why should you lose them? But then again, you could say that for every skill in Deadman mode. Now I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. The main thing that's really pushing me to vote yes is that hit points is in a league of its own when we compare it to other skills. You can't just outright train it, and I think because everyone's relying on hit points in Deadman mode, it's something no one will have a disadvantage over. Next, question 3. Currently, the attack option priority you choose applies to both players and NPCs. You cannot have left-click attack on NPCs while setting right-click attack for players, or vice versa. Should they change the attack priority settings to separate the options for players and NPCs? Part of me questions why we would need that, but when you remember that player versus player and player versus monster combat is very different, then you think having something there to choose which one you want is quite a nice idea. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. Next, question 4. When wearing a team cape, you're able to left-click attack any players wearing a different team cape. This effect currently overrides your attack option priority. Should an additional option be added to ignore this effect? I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I think it's quite good that if we get more options, we obviously have that little bit more control, so we might as well have the control with the team cape as well. Next, question 5. Should the Wilderness Ditch be removed in both standard Old School RuneScape and Deadman mode? This can only be done across both game modes at once as they share the same map. Now this is a question I've been struggling with for a while. I voted no when they originally polled this a while back, and I remember thinking afterwards, I wish I had voted yes. Since then I've sort of been yo-yoing across the opinions. When I first started playing RuneScape, there was no Wilderness Ditch and I quite liked it. However, I've gotten used to the Wilderness Ditch because it's been there for so long. I would really like to see them removing the ditch, as in the ditch that you have to click on to jump over. However, a visual aid to show where the wilderness starts and ends would be really nice. So for that reason, and that reason alone, I'm going to have to vote no, because this is a complete removal of a ditch, and not saying they're going to introduce a visual aid. If they say, we'll remove the ditch and add a visual aid, such as a ditch or a wall, to show you where the wilderness is, I will be happy. But unfortunately, the wording of this question means I will have to vote no. Finally, question 6. When attacking an unschooled player in Deadman mode, you currently get a PK skull for 30 minutes. Should this timer be reduced to 20 minutes, but be extended if you're attacking a player who is much lower level than you? For every combat level more than 10 lower than that of the PKer, an additional 1 minute will be added to the PK timer. For example, a level 60 attacking a level 55 would receive the new 20-minute skull. A level 60 attacking a level 45, however, would receive an additional 5 minutes, totaling 25 minutes. And there'll be a maximum skull timer of 60 minutes. Now that's a very interesting incentive to make people not attack the really low levels. And it's also quite nice that they'll be scaling it back to 20 minutes. I'm pretty sure that skulls last 20 minutes in Old School RuneScape. However, I've never really bothered timing it that much after I finish runecrafting. And potentially, PK and runecrafting skulls are different. That might mean that I'm just not used to the PK skulls. So I'm going to go ahead and vote yes. I quite like the sound of that. I'm going to go ahead and vote, and then we can check out the results of this poll. So far we've only had 14,914 votes. Like I said, this poll has not been open for long, and unfortunately that means less people will probably get to vote, mostly because it's not been open during the weekend. But out of those 14,914, 83.2% want the experience lost when an unskilled player dies to be reduced from 50% to 25% in Deadman mode. 76.2% want hit points insurance added to Deadman mode. 79.1% want additional attack options in the settings interface. 64.2% want the option of being able to change the priority when you have a team cape. 61.2% want the wilderness ditch to be removed. And 65.8% want the PK skill timer in Deadman mode to be changed. So it'll be lower if you're attacking players around your level, but if you're attacking players a lot lower than you, it'll be higher. So I find this a very interesting poll. It's got a large mix of Deadman and Old School RuneScape questions. I kind of dislike the fact that they've got Deadman and Old School RuneScape questions merged together. Well, I don't really have any major objections with it. However, I do feel a bit strange voting on Deadman mode polls when I'm not a player of Deadman mode. Potentially, this is the time that they should be introducing an abstain option to the polls, because there are multiple game modes of Old School RuneScape, and if I just decided that, okay, I'm not going to have anything to do with Deadman mode, I could choose not to. However, if I still wanted to vote in it, then I could. If you've not voted in this poll yet, please make sure you go ahead and vote. I know there's not much time, but it really is important because this is a community-based game, and all updates in this game are voted on by the community. What do you think about this poll? Let me know in the comments below. Do you also think it's time that we got an abstain option? If you want to watch the latest Old School RuneScape update, please click here for Deadman mode tweaks. And if you want to watch the update before that, please click here for the Deadman mode release. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, devlogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.